Hi dear friends, Chris here. So today is January 21st, 2021. This is my third finish of the year. It is a custom. I refer to it as Socialite with per chicken. It's a custom. I got it from the Mian store. I actually got it quite some time ago. I got it I bought the painting about probably just probably a day or two, actually, probably before last year, the Chinese New Year. I didn't realize that, and so it took like that plus the virus issue. It probably took like two and a half months to get here. So, probably about April it probably came, maybe. And I with two other ones that I've done, and so I just finally decided to do it because I really love the image, and I knew I was going to do major customizations on it. And like I've said before, my mindset is kind of like the one I'm anticipating for doing the most. Instead of most people want to like do it right away, I'm like, I want to save it to the end. I want to wait and get anticipation up for it. But so I finally decided to do it, and I'm glad I did. So originally it was a 50 by 50. No, yes, yeah, I believe it was a 50 by 50 centimeter. And I kind of made the mistake with these because like I said, I bought three at the same time. So I bought this one and the two other ones. I believe you can see, if you're interested in that and you haven't seen them, they're two male pop art figures. One's a boxer and one's a guy taking a shirt off. You could see that in my year end finishes that I posted about a few weeks ago. So I kind of made the mistakes as I didn't edit the pictures as much as I should have, as far as cutting the sides up and probably doing it that way. So I got it. They were all, I believe, 50 by 50s, and I should have edited them more to cut more of the sides out, just so the detail was a little bit better. So I could have either did a 50 by 50 with a smaller picture size image, captured image, or I could have gone up to a 60 by 60, which would have probably been better as far as detail goes. But that's okay. This one of the three came out the best by far. A lot of the reason was because the face on her, she has sunglasses, so the eyes were a major issue with the other ones, especially one of them. And so I had no really problem with this at all. I really loved it. I love the image. I loved how it turns out. So it was 50 by 50. I cut it down. I don't know what the centimeter comparison is, but basically it's a 16 by 20 inch now. So I did cut off the length is the same. I cut off the width on the sides a little bit. So let's talk about the actual picture itself and what I changed about it. So I added rhinestones and I added special shaped gems to it. But before I go into that, the one thing I will say, the only thing that I was kind of disappointed with in how the whole thing looks, and it looks good in the picture, and in person it looks good too, but kind of was her hair. Her hair had a number of different colors. It has, let's see, a yellow, a brownish, and it had a darker brown, and then an even another brown. So, and I actually didn't love how it came out. I did add some rhinestones to one of the colors in her hair, and I like that. Now, where you see these black ones, I added those black ones afterwards. Originally, those were a brownish color, and it kind of just all blended together and kind of faded too much. It was too much blending, where it just looked like nothing. It just looked like brown, and yellow. I mean, she's supposed to be a blonde, but it comes off a little more yellow color than blonde, I guess. So I wound up taking them out, and I rarely ever take anything once I put them down. I find it very tedious, and it's hard to get up, and then the drills stick to the tweezer, and it's just a pain. But you know what, I figured that's not that many I have to pull up comparatively, so, and I think I'll like it better. So I plucked them all up in the areas where you see this black, and I took the brown out and I put these black ones in, and it definitely makes it look a lot better and defines her hair a lot more. So that was the only part of the whole paintings that I really had any kind of issue with, from what I did and how kind of it was. I mean, you know, I kind of was thinking about that before I even did it. I was like, I really should change it a little bit, but I didn't, and it was my fault. So let's get down to the easier parts before I go into the harder parts explaining what I did. Background. So here we have the background. You know, again, a traditional kind of pop art background with the solid color and the little circle things here. So the background has about, I think, has about 3 different shades of blues. You won't be able to tell, and it's very hard to tell in person. In this, you know, just the background area is about 3 different shades. There's 2 main ones and 1 smaller shade that is speckled in. Then there's also what I replaced was another shade I replaced with blue rhinestones, as well as then we have the yellow, which is a piece of hair. My hair got it caught. So we have the yellow circles. Those are as is. And then there's, again, little specks of, there was another color. I don't remember which one it was. And I replaced those with these, you know, basically the silvery clear rhinestones. So that was the easy part. That was the background. You could see it up close up top. There's a little pattern here with the rhinestone and the background, which goes into the knees. So then her skirt was the next easy one. It's a purple skirt. There were basically 3 colors in the skirt. This gives definition here. There was only a little bit. That was supposed to be a dark purple, but I changed them out for a black instead. And then I used a purple, one of the purples that were here, and then I used purple rhinestone to replace the other color. Really pretty. I liked how that came out. Now we have her pet chicken that she's taken with her on her hitchhike. Again, simple. I used the colors they provided, except for the one which I replaced here and here with some rhinestones. Then I also replaced the gobbler and the thing on top with red rhinestones right there and right there on her head, on the chicken's head. I put a blue gem for the eye, and I did the chicken's beak yellow. They actually had a number of different colors in there, but I thought that's too blending. You're not going to be able to tell what it is. Just make it a solid color. Then you can tell that's a beak. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be able to tell it would be a beak. Then I did her necklace that she had on. I replaced that area that was supposed to be probably white colors with these light pink gems. I left her earrings alone. She had purple earrings on. I was thinking about changing them, but I thought, no, I already put them down. I think they look fine. And I don't want to, you know, putting special drills or rhinestones on really makes it pop out and changes it. But sometimes putting too much can be overwhelming. I changed her lips a little bit. Again, the rendering was just a little scattered all over, so I had to kind of just redefine them a little, and they actually look really good. As well as her nose, I changed her nose a little bit. Again, since even though the face is simple and it's what's the word I'm trying to use? It should have been more defined. It kind of, I guess, wasn't, again, because it was a 50 by 50, and there was more to do with the background. So the image itself, it would have been better if it was a little bigger, so it would have been defined more, and I didn't have to do that. But I fixed it, so I fixed the lips a little, I fixed her nose a little. I had to really kind of work out how her glasses were, because if you see the original artwork, again, it's the same thing. The glass rims are white, as you could see, and then there's a shade of pink in the rims, and then there's the black. So I just had to kind of clean it up. Again, that was easy. It wasn't really a big deal. I had to clean up a little bit on her area, usually on the sides, and again, the definition of her chin and her neck and her shoulders. All that I had to kind of just clean up with some. They had too many different colors, and it really would have looked muddled. It's much better if you have one or two to define it. So that's what I did. Again, her skin color's fine. It was basically one color in her skin. Her hands came out okay in the picture. Again, up close it's a little bit blurrier, but through the view through the screen, and certainly as I step back a few feet, you can definitely see that these are supposed to be her fingers. They're more defined. Excuse me, I don't have a drink. My throat's getting sore. So each fingernail has a little rhinestone on for her nail polish. Her belt, I changed that out for a red rhinestone. Her purse, I actually, if I remember correctly, I have such a bad memory, I can't even remember what I just did. The purse was supposed to be a different shade of pink, but I changed it to another shade that was in the kit. I actually left the straps on the bag alone for the most part, I think, and it actually came out pretty nice. I was kind of worried, again, with all the too many colors mixed in there, but it actually did come out nice. So I added a couple extra. They had this, as you could see, to define the side and then the top over the bag. They had a few of these here. I added a few more to make it to where you could really tell what that it was supposed to be a separation. Again, and when I went around her body, I used I used a purple, a very dark purple outline around her top and over here, and when I did obviously on her hair there, and then the brown on her skin, so it all blended together. Again, cleaning up again on the skin to make sure that all the matched. This is a bow on the bag. Again, the black is for shadowing on the other side of the bow, and I replaced the red colors for rhinestones on the bow. I changed in here a little bit. That was a pattern. That was the pattern how it was. Again, I just changed out some of the colors. Again, maybe a darker pink for a lighter pink, or a lighter pink for a darker pink, that kind of thing. These I added. These are purple gems. They weren't supposed to be here. It was just supposed to be... This kit did not, obviously, it's a custom. It did not have any special stones. I added these special stones. So I kind of strategically placed them, and you kind of have to shove some of the diamonds. You have to kind of work around to get them so they sit right and you don't have huge gaps around them. It's a little process. It's not that difficult, but excuse me. And up to her shirt, her top. The top was probably the hardest part because I had to strategically place all these gems. So they had some sort of pattern, and they couldn't just look randomly placed. So they had to have a pattern. Of course, I ran out, so I had to change it a little bit. And I decided, again, in the photo or the original artwork, it was basically the top was, just a solid kind of drapey top. It did have this definition of a, I don't want to call it a wrinkle, but kind of like in the skirt where it has the to show the shape. So I just made it more pronounced, so it looks like the top area here is a little different, and this would be more of a collary sort of thing that went down like this. And so I made it a little more defined in there, and that's how I was able to then just leave the special shapes down here and over here a little bit, as opposed to trying to fit them up here. And I did run out. These are all the ones I've had. I actually might have been left one or two after this, because when I first started doing it, I ran out, and I was to get the same stone. Unfortunately, I got them from Amazon, but the seller wasn't selling the item anymore. So I was like, well, if I have to get more, then I either have to take them all off and get different stones completely, or try to get something else, and hopefully they fit, they're right. But I decided to redo it a little bit anyways. Again, and I changed a little bit. I had to change some of the colors in here to make it all work better. It sounds like it. I might make it sound like it's hard work, and it's not really. It just, it's creativity, but fun creativity for me. I'm not a creative person generally, so when I have to fix it, it can be a little bit annoying, especially if it's not a fix. I don't like fixing the face all that much, because if that doesn't look right, then that really can ruin it. If this is done like this, and maybe it's not perfect, well, okay, it's not really the focal point, and you can chalk it up to a pattern or whatever. A face is really important, obviously. That has to look as best as it can be. Everything else you can kind of, deal with. Yeah, so I really loved how this came out. I'm so happy with it. Again, and you do have to, when you use these gems and doesn't come with it, so it's not space correct, you have to really kind of force some of them in there, and you have to do your best to get them lined up correctly. And so, especially when it's butted against the gem itself. And so I don't want to leave a big gap, so I kind of have to. So I wanted in certain areas to force them in there. And so yeah. Sorry I talked too much. I knew I should have took a drink. My voice is starting to go. So again, this is my Socialite with chicken. Third finish of the year. I love it. I hope you do too. Again. Okay, guys. I guess that's it. Thank you for watching. Till next time, be safe, be happy. Bye, guys.